Hello and welcome to the Penno Channel for this match preview for Aston Villa's match against Tottenham Hotspur on the weekend in the Premier League. I'm joined with my bro to go through everything regarding the game. Bro, how you doing? How you feeling? We now enter November. It's been 2 years since Unai Emery's been manager of Aston Villa. What a time it has been.
Yeah, so I'm confused. Wasn't it 2 years like a week ago? Or was that something where he officially got the title?
Probably when he officially, maybe I think this is his first game in charge. So the Man U game.
Yeah, that was like early November, weren't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's gone quick, man. And Spurs away, bro. Emery's had a pretty decent record there so far. I think he's won both of his games, unless I'm mistaken. So yeah, let's see how it goes, man.
Yeah, before we get into this one, we've got a like and subs target. We'd love to hit it. We appreciate you all that do watch. So if you could like and also subscribe, that'd be much appreciated. So yeah, bro, we start November, and this looks like on paper the trickiest month we've had so far, and potentially we will have this season. We start with 3 away games. Spurs this weekend, Bruges in the Champions League, and then away to Liverpool at Anfield. And then we finish it off with 2 home games against Crystal Palace and Juventus in the Champions League. So it's a big month. It could, set us on how our season's going to pan out. Okay, in the Champions League, we've done very well. We've won 3 wins out of 3. And I expect us to at least get through to the last 24. But yeah, it's a massive month with some huge games within it.
And facts, it's just the fact they're all away games as well, man. I don't know, I'm more comfortable watching Aston Villa at home than away for me. But yeah, if we can manage to assert our control and play the way we can, hopefully we can come out on the other side. I think the international break is going to be a big help for us as well, though. Even though we got all our squad fit and there's no injuries. This is before Emery's presser, so we'll find out later on, of course. But yeah, I still think it's come at a good time. Spurs, Bruges, then it's Liverpool away, then it's an international break. So I think that rest will do us some good as well. But yeah, man, this is it.
Yeah, let's talk about our away record before we get into it in Spurs as well, because our record itself is actually really good. We've only drawn to Ipswich and won every other game, and that's in all competitions as well. You could say potentially we haven't played, the high echelons of the league or in the Champions League, but you have to play who's put in front of you, and we've managed to win all those games bar one, which we drew. So on paper, the away record looks good, but yeah, as I said, it's really a tough test now with 2 huge games against top 6 sides in the league away from home. So yeah, bro, let's get into this one on Sunday, because Spurs versus Villa, it always throws up, something within these games. Obviously, the last time we played was at home, and we got absolutely battered in that game. It was 4-0. Albeit the first half, we did play to our plan, and we kind of restricted them to the amount of chances we had. There was a slight tweak from Unai. I remember from that game, we started with a back 3, which is very rare for Unai to actually, set us out in a defensive shape in a 3. So there was that tweak, and in the second half, Ange made changes which worked into their favour. But away from home at White Hart Lane, we've had some good results there. Obviously, the Emery Buendia, Dougie Luiz game when they both scored, and then last season the Watkins goal after we initially were 1-0 behind, and we managed to get ourselves back into that game. Spurs had a number of chances within that game as well, and I know Spurs fans will have felt, especially first half, they should have been at least 2-0 up. But we stuck in there, Pau Torres equalised, and then we went on to win the game as well. Instances, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the game, especially one player, Matty Cash. I know Spurs fans seem to get onto his case. Not really sure why, to be honest.
But that's their favourite player, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I thought them man love Cash more than an economist, bro. Like them, like love.
I did think when Emerson Royale left that they were going to go in for Matty Cash, to be honest, because it seems that they have so much love for him. But yeah, it didn't quite materialise. But let's get into it, bro. Your thoughts going into this weekend?
Yeah, the reverse fixture, the 4-0, I kind of thought that was disappointing from us. I thought it was cowardice. I thought it was at the time. Like, I was just like, the approach. I thought if we would have played our normal game, we would have stood a much better chance of beating Spurs that day. And it played out. They won 4-0. I think the game last season, I thought Spurs did really well. They had so many injuries in that side. I think they started Ben Davies, Emerson Royale centre backs with Lascelles, Bentancur in the middle, and like Brian Hill was starting. Like I don't even think someone was available. So I thought they did sick in the first half last season, and yeah, they probably should have been 2-0 up. But we showed perseverance. We showed our character. Pau Torres header from one of the best balls I've ever seen from Douglas Luiz from the free kick that was literally on like the halfway line. It felt like. And then Watkins, probably one of my favourite goals from Watkins technique-wise. On the run, first time finish, creates a separation, puts it bottom corner, literally all in like one stride. So, yeah, great victory that was. And the vibes just felt really good last time when we were there, like that season. It felt like we were on a winning run. And yeah, that horrible kit was bringing some of our best times of what Villa, bro. To go on to Spurs this season, to me, it's a weird one, bro, because I think Spurs fans will agree they can turn up and play some of the best football they've played all season in the first half against Brighton, and then second half they've still got that collapse in them where there can be 2 goals up and you're still not sure they'll get the 3 points. You go to Palace last week. We're not ones to talk about losing to Palace, but they go there. Spurs, Palace haven't won in the league, and they lose. They don't even really create that many chances. Then midweek they beat Manchester City. So I think Spurs are just having a roller coaster season in terms of results. And yeah, it's weird because if you look at the underlying numbers, they're one of the best at creating chances this season. Like they're right up there with Man City and Liverpool. And then you look at their defense. Their defense is like top 5 in the league as well for restricting chances. So it's a weird one. They probably should be a lot higher in the table than they actually are. But yeah, it's just you just never know what Spurs is going to show up, and hopefully we see that Brighton second half Spurs show up tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, it is interesting, bro, to see them have 4 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw against the name is a surprise. Considering when I've watched Spurs, the football they do play is really good, and they've been missing a lot of chances in games from the ones I've watched, but they haven't struggled to create as such. But that Palace game was a big surprise because that was the first game I really watched from them where I thought actually you didn't deserve to win that game, and I thought Palace were the better side. But they went in midweek, got a big result against City. Okay, City rested a few, but you still have to beat City. Still a great side, and they went relatively strong for that game as well. So I kind of think it shows that what their priorities this season. They're in a great position in the Europa League table, so they had the opportunity to prioritise that. And with a big game coming up on the weekend against Villa, they really went for it. And even though some of the starters didn't start in that game, they came on from off the bench as well. So they were really putting their eggs in the basket, and they're in that position where I think now they're looking to get silverware. So going into this one on the weekend, we catch Spurs in the league, in poor form, but that result will be a big factor in the League Cup because that will put some confidence into their side.
Yeah, and their fans seem to feel a lot more confident when they play at home compared to when they play away as well, which is normal for most teams. Of course, you have more supporters, you have more people getting behind you. But yeah, they beat West Ham 4-1. They've beat City now, so they're coming. I think they've beat Brentford at home as well. Everton.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're quite
they
strong
scored
at home.
four in those games as well.
Yeah, it's only Arsenal that they've lost to, I think. So, but just to speak on Spurs more, we know how Ange plays. He likes to condense the middle by inverting his fullbacks into midfield, and then they love to work the ball out wide to maybe Brennan Johnson, Son, those type of players. But the key man for me this season for Spurs is Kulusevski. Like he's in a new role this season. He's dropped deeper. He's playing more central, and bro, he's been their best player for me. Like he's close control. He's a creative monster. He has tight feet. He makes the right decision more often than not. And it's going to be on Aston Villa to nullify his game, bro, because I think he's going to be their biggest danger, their biggest threat, 100%.
Yeah, because Kulusevski's caused problems last season, even though he was operating off the right. As you said, he's now more centrally. They've gone even more attacking in terms of the players that they've started in the 11. They seem to play with 1-6, which is either Bissouma, Bentancur, whoever that may be, and then they operate with 2 10s in essence, who are playing as 8s, but looking to get further forward in Kulusevski and Maddison, and then obviously you have your wingers in Werner, Brennan Johnson, Son, with Dom Solanke through the middle. Thoughts on Dom Solanke, because obviously they paid a lot of money from coming in from Bournemouth. The goals really haven't come out yet, but I think his general play has been quite good from what I've seen of it.
Yeah, me and you are big fans of Dom Solanke. Like even last season, we were bigging him up for Bournemouth. Scored like 19 league goals. I've been surprised by his underlying numbers a little bit. I thought he'd be getting in better positions to score, but as you said, his overall play's still been there. His touch still looks sharp, and I think the goals will come. Hopefully not on Sunday, but long term, I think he'll be fine. But yeah, I was surprised to see his like XG recently. Like it's in the 0.0s, like the last 3 games. So one thing I'll say about a striker is if they miss chances, I won't criticise as much. But if you're not getting chances at all, that's worrying. So we'll see with Dom Solanke. But I think he's still going to be a player we need to keep on lock, whether we play Carla centrally or Konza centrally. Yeah. Someone's going to have to deal with him.
Yeah, that's for sure. They have a number of good players who can cause us damage and who will be big threats within the game. Talking on the potential omissions who might not be available, I know Son, he's been injured the last few, but he could be available. So he'll be coming into this game probably not 100%. So there's Timo Werner as well, who I think came off with a suspected injury, so potentially he might not be available. And then another big one, which I think will be a massive loss for Spurs and quite a bit of a positive for Villa if he's not available, is Mickey van der Ven. Albeit him and Romero have had 4 games this season, he's still a quality defender. So if Mickey van der Ven is unavailable, I imagine Dragusin will just slot straight in at left centre back, and yeah, they'll go from there. It'll be the usual other 3 at the back with Pedro Porro, Romero, and Udogie.
Yeah, facts. And I think Van der Ven's a big loss if he's out. I think Ange's confirmed that he's going to miss the game Sunday. So, yeah, it's mad. Like, his pace and power is crazy, but them hamstrings just don't hold up, do they? He seems to always have issues with them. So, yeah, man, big loss for Spurs. But as you say, it's a positive for Villa. And they'll replace him with Dragusin, who I think he's a good box defender. He likes to get about, slide in. But I think 1v1, bro, if we get Rodgers up against Dragusin, I think there's a matchup there for us to exploit, to be fair. So, from a Villa perspective, I think we could get some joy there, definitely. On to Villa, bro. How do you see us lining?
One thing I will say is sorry, bro, is that remember last year in the game at Villa Park, I think it was 0-0 at the time. Mickey van der Ven went off injured, and Dragusin came on, and that just changed the game. Dragusin was very good when he came on, and if anything, he went into Spurs' favour because they went on to score 4 goals after that. So yeah, we have to be aware that Dragusin's still a good defender, and it's going to be a tough game for Rodgers, Watkins, Duran, whoever is operating up top against Romero and Dragusin.
Yeah, bro. Let's get on to Villa then. Unai hasn't actually done his press conference at the moment yet, so we're not actually sure on injuries, but I don't think there was anyone that came off injured against Palace or anything like that. So you'd assume we've still got a fully fit squad. How do we approach this game then? Spurs are going to go man-to-man off the ball. They're going to keep attacking as well. And I do think their rest defence, you can get at them in behind. So what's the best way for Villa to line up to get the win?
Yeah, it's. I always find when we play Spurs, you have to weather the storm. And as you say, man-to-man press that they do play, especially at home, they try and suffocate you. And we know how we like to play. We're going to be consistent in the way we play. We're going to build up from the back. We're going to look to use Pau Torres to play through the lines. So it's about weathering that. And I think we'll see a similar lineup to what we had against Bournemouth. I think potentially it will be that exact same lineup. I don't think there will be any changes. I think Cash and Digne will come back in. The whole back four will come back in, sorry, because none of them featured on Wednesday. Again, with the midfield, I think McKim will retain his pace, but I can see Onana, Tielemans and Ramsey coming in. And then I think it will be Watkins and Rodgers up front. So the same lineup against Bournemouth. I think it's quite telling that except for McGinn, of the featured on Wednesday. So I think that will be the lineup, and obviously the best keeper in the world in goal, having won his second Ishin Trophy in the week, he'll be flying and confident.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about the attack as well. Like Rodgers, Watkins, I can see that. Ramsey, McGinn, 100%, and Nana Tillemans. I'm not the biggest fan of McGinn, bro. I've said on the podcast before, but if they go man to man, one thing McGinn is good at is anticipating the press and using his body to shield, and then playing them curled left-footed passes over the top for Watkins. So if we can exploit that, if McGinn's on form like that, obviously defensively as well, he's going to do his job. I think we could look as well to see like a substitution in the 60, 65th. Maybe Bailey, Philogene. I remember last season bringing on Bailey was messing up a bit on transition, but he was at least being an outlet wide and allowing us to hold width a bit, which we're going to lack with Ramsey and McGinn. So, yeah. Personally, I'd like to see Carlos Conza again. I know Carlos had that error midweek, but as you said, I think Emery's going to go Cash. Like Cash didn't play midweek. He does like Cash. He's used Cash further forward in previous games, which I really hope we don't see Sunday because I can't stand that type. I prefer Cash if he's going to play right back and have like a McGinn, Ramsey on that side. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the one, bro. And I genuinely think the game is going to be a case of both team gets chances. Who's so yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Yeah, I was just going to say, bro, that's how it felt last season. When we were playing against them, it felt like both teams were going to get chances. It's whether who takes them. When you were talking about McGinn and the way he operates in a man-to-man press, I thought it was a very good point. He did well in Bournemouth because Bournemouth were pressing in a similar fashion. When he gets the opportunity to turn away from his man, he creates so much space. I remember a game at Villa Park when we beat him 2-1 and it kind of cemented us for Conference League. McGinn was playing in the middle of the park then. But when he was receiving the ball, he was turning Son and Kane in positions quite in a defensive area for us and quite high up for Spurs. But once he was getting past them, the space that was available was huge. And I think it'd be similar again on Sunday when McGinn does get the ball and if he is able to tame similarly to Rodgers, if he's able to get space and you know face the goal directly with the ball, he'll be able to transition for 30, 40 yards with the ball because there'll be so much space. Similarly again to what you said regarding Spurs in the sense that the chances, I think they'll have a number of chances and we'll have a number of chances as well. And it does seem like every time we play Spurs, it's a straight shootout. And if you take your chances, you're more than likely going to win.
Facts, bro. And I'll say one thing as well, bro. One thing about Spurs games is if you win, you get the expressions video after, you get the rant, you get the wordplay. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Won the 3 points, bro. The 3 points are nice, isn't it? But give me that expressions video after cussing his team out, bro. That's what I'm waiting.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts.
So yeah, bro. I think we've pretty much covered how we're feeling for the game. Is there anything else that's really been going on in the Villa world?
No, I think that's it really. Looking forward to it as always, and big game and a big month coming up for Villa. So he's hoping 3 points on the weekend and then moving forward 3 points in the other league games. And if we get 2 more 3 points in the Champions League, I think that might solidify us for the top 8 and automatic qualification through to the next round. So yeah, massive month, and we'll see.
I got one more thing though, bro. How you feel about the news of Villa in talks with Morgan Rodgers for a contract extension?
Fully deserved, absolutely. I think his wage was small in comparison to the rest of the first team squad. Understandable because he came from a Championship side, and the fee wasn't in today's market. It wasn't massive. So that was relative to his wage at the time. But we've seen the impact. We've seen how reliant we are already at times, and how much he impacts our style of play. And I think it's thoroughly deserved with the form that he's shown since he's been at the club. And he'll be a pay rise representative of other members of the first team squad, which is because he's a key member. He's right up there now. So I think it's thoroughly deserved as well, and I'm sure there'll be a few tie-ins in terms of if ever he was to leave, Villa receiving a handsome amount of money if that were to be the case.
Yeah, he's really going to be the difference for me Sunday. If he's on form, I just think they haven't faced us with Rodgers yet. And I just think like the technical ability and the ball carrying, because Spurs are going to leave gaps, bro. This is just how they play. I'm really excited to see what Rodgers can do at the lane. And I feel like he's the type to thrive on that as well. Games on Sky. But yeah, as you said, well-deserved contract extension. I think it helps the club as well. Like you extend the contract length, then the fees less each year. So I think it helps both ways. But definitely needs to be in line with our top earners because he is one of our top players and one of the first names on the team sheet, bro. So yeah, buzzing with that as well, bro. There's some rumours Ramsey might be getting one, but I don't know about that. Some murmurs in the papers that Ramsey might be getting one.
I can't remember. Ramsey, did he sign one 2 years ago?
I think it's 2027. He's last year, 2027. He's only like 2,200 Gerrard, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that as well. Do you remember the rumours of who Ramsey was potentially going to in the summer?
Yeah, so there's a narrative there as well, isn't there? So
yeah.
So Johan Lange's gonna be there, boy. He's gonna like
right. Rob McKenzie, Johan Lange, all in the box watching on it intently for sure.
The Judas is no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I rate them. I rate them like what they did for Villa, but yeah, it's mad. It's mad. No Lo Celso though, who we tried to sign. He's doing bits at Betis, which is mad.
Hopefully, when John Duran gets on, because I think that was their big, that was their jewel in the crown. And hopefully, if Duran shows them what they all saw on the screens and in the database, live in the flesh.
It's a win-win for them, innit? So like Duran scores, then get bags like 2, like they win. If you don't score, then Spurs like it's win-win for them in the crowd. So, yeah, they're gassed. But what was I gonna say? One more thing. Yeah, Lo Celso, obviously, he scored last season against us as well. So there's.
Oh, yeah, that goal.
He bagged it from outside the box. So. Yeah, but this is massive for top 4, bro. These are competitors. And come on, Villa, let's get the win.
Facts.
So, yeah, bro, if you want to wrap it up there, guys, can you just, again, get the likes up for us as soon as you see the video, even if you don't watch it for the whole way through, just get the likes up. Also, leave a comment below, and the comment will be, what should we give them as a comment, bro? To discuss.
Do you think we'll finish above Spurs again this season? Because it's been 2 years in a row now. Villa fans, do you think we'll finish above Spurs this season? And any other fans, if you are watching, do you think Aston Villa will finish above Tottenham this season?
Spurs fans, if you're watching, one, explain the hatred for Matty Cash, because me and my brother are confused.
We don't get it. And two, no, it's not hatred, it's the love. Explain the love.
Explain the love for Matty Cash. And 2, do you think you'll finish above Aston Villa this season?
Facts. Anyway, as my bro said, thank you all for joining. And we'll see you on the next one with the match reaction to the game on Sunday. Up the Villa.